back to discussion. In the present class today, we will be discussing about function of the heart. Okay, function of the heart. No, the objective of the heart, just like kidney to excretive system, brain to neural system, the heart is to pump. That means to circulate system, to pump the blood. Say it has to pump so that the oxygenated blood will goes to different tissues, and from there the impure blood, the deoxygenated blood will be collected back to heart, and then oxygenation. Likewise, it has to repeat it. For that means why it has to regularly in pumping mode, because so that the blood can circulate regularly. So through blood we can distribute oxygen. That means say we can distribute oxygen to tissues. The essential nutrients like glucose, say oxygen leads to oxidative phosphorylation, and from tissues we can collect carbon dioxide and toxic substances into the blood, and we can eliminate accordingly. So for that the heart should be in a regular pumping mode, and this should be in a regular rhythm, what we call pumping rhythm. The same can be explained in the way of cardiac cycle. Pumping rhythm. Pumping rhythm means, say, we'll think like this for understanding. Is atria, is ventricles. Atrial systole. Systole means here contraction. Diastole means relaxation. Okay. Atrial systole first point. Then the ventricular systole. Then joint diastolic phase, what we call cardiac diastole. Diastole means relaxation. Both atria and ventricles are in relaxed state. This is about cardiac cycle. I told you already. In a rhythm, the pumping should be in a particular rhythm. Atrial systole, ventricular systole, joint diastolic phase, cardiac diastole. Again, atrial systole, ventricular systole, and joint diastolic phase. This is a mode with which the heart will pump. Pumping rhythm, and that means the cardiac events that occurs from the beginning of one heartbeat to the next consecutive heartbeat is known as cardiac cycle. We knew that on average the heart beats for around, in a healthy human being 72 times per minute, 72 beats. Okay, that means 0.8 second for one cardiac cycle. One cardiac cycle accounts for 0.8 second. So per minute 72 beats. And this cardiac cycle I told already. Atrial systole, ventricular systole, and cardiac diastole. Cardiac diastole. Here systole means contraction. We have discussed about pacemakers now. Specialized cardiac muscle, nodal tissues, sinoatrial node. It generates the action potential without the stimulation, that means without external stimulation. That is why they are considered as pacemakers. And from the sinoatrial node it goes to AVN, atrioventricular node, which is a relay point, and from there it goes to bundle of His, then the Purkinje fibers, and a complete ventricular musculature. Okay. And for in atrial systole, what happens? Say for understanding, the atrial systole, this is SAN, sinoatrial node, this is AVN, atrioventricular node, and this bundle of His and Purkinje fibers. Okay, is a relay point. First, atrial systole, which lasts for 0.1 second. How atria contracts? I told you already. The sinoatrial node, which is present in the right upper corner of the right atrium, it generates action potential, which leads to simultaneous contraction of atria. It's not one atria first, one atria next. It's about simultaneous atrial systole because of generation of action potential from the SN, what we call sinoatrial node. It lasts for 0.1 second, and because of this it leads to simultaneous atrial contraction. Actually, what happens? First, for better understanding, we have to think like this. Say the both atria and ventricles are in relaxed state. say are in relaxed state. Here the atrioventricular valves, that means the tricuspid valve between right atrium and right ventricle and the bicuspid valve between left atrium and the left ventricle are in open condition, in relaxed state, that means diastolic phase. Whereas semilunar valves of pulmonary and the systemic aorta are in closed state. Since the AV valves are in open, the blood from atria, that means what exactly the blood? The vena cava, they bring deoxygenated blood and opens in the right atrium, whereas the oxygenated blood from pulmonary vein, it goes into left atrium. It goes to respective atria, that means respective ventricle, the right ventricle and the left ventricle through atrioventricular apertures, because the valves are open, the tricuspid and bicuspid valves are open. Then from here you have to start. The first atrial systole, I told you already. The SN generate action potential causes atrial systole. This because of contraction, the blood in the atria goes to ventricles. How much volume of blood goes to ventricles? This is very important. How much volume of blood goes to ventricles? It's about 30%. Just that means it increases the blood flow to ventricles at the rate of 30%. The amount of volume of blood contributed by the atrial systole, which lasts for 0.1 second, is this 30%. And however, the rest, it has been filled when, that means before the atrial systole, when both are in relaxed state. I will tell you what exactly it is. So somehow, so because of the atrial systole, 30% the volume of blood goes to ventricles. Right? The first fill is over. Just it lasts for 0.1 second. The ventricular systole, we knew that SAN from generate action potential, atrial systole, then goes to AVN, then goes to bundle of fish, then Purkinje fibers. Through which it's like, complete ventricular contraction. Say atrial systole is over, the ventricular systole. Because of this, from SAN to AVN, that means or from atrial systole, it goes to AVN, and from AVN it goes to bundle of fish, then Purkinje fibers. Leads to simultaneous ventricular systole. That means ventricular contraction. During this, atria will be in relaxed state. That means the ventricular systole will be coincides with atrial systole. That means atrial relaxation, atrial diastole. When ventricles are in systolic mode, the atria will be in relaxed mode. Okay. When the ventricles are in this systole or contraction mode, what happens? It lasts for 0.3 seconds. It lasts for 0.3 seconds. This is a very important point. When the ventricles are in contraction, that means when they contract, we also discussed now AV valves between atria and ventricles and the semilunar valves present in pulmonary aorta and the systemic. The most important thing we have to understand here now. So the tricuspid valve between right atria and right ventricle, bicuspid valve between left atria and left ventricle. Okay. When the ventricle contracts systole, the blood, just like here, because of ventricular contraction, increased pressure it generates. Increased pressure. Because of the increased pressure, the AV valves will close, causing the first heart sound known as lub. This is very important. Till now, AV valves are in open. Because of that, from atria goes to ventricles. And because of ventricular systole, the AV valves, they close. They shut down, causing the first heart sound known as lub. The simple point is simple. Because of ventricular systole, the AV valves close, causing the first heart sound known as lub. Right. Why it has to close? Because it has to prevent the backflow of blood, from ventricles to atria. Then, when the ventricular systole further contracts, it increases the pressure further. That leads to forced opening of semilunar valves of pulmonary and systemic aorta. The most important thing happened during ventricular systole is closure of AV valves, atrioventricular valves. Tricuspid, bicuspid. Because the first heart sound known as lub, whereas opening of semilunar valves. Opening of semilunar valves. Of pulmonary and systemic. When the semilunar valves of the pulmonary and systemic arches are open, what happens? The blood from ventricle goes into aortic arches. That means the pulmonary and systemic. That means from right ventricle, the deoxygenated blood goes into pulmonary arch, Whereas in the left ventricle, the oxygenated blood goes into the systemic arch. Because of ventricular systole, it opens. This is very important. So, and from there it goes to circulation. That means the pulmonary arch goes to the lungs for purification for oxygenation, whereas for systemic arch, two different arteries goes to blood. So it's about ventricular systole, which lasts for 0.3 seconds. The most important thing is AV valves close, sigmoid valves open. Then the third phase, what we call cardiac diastole. The cardiac diastole. I told you already. The next phase, when the atria are in systole, the ventricles are in diastole. That means then when the ventricles are in systole, the atria are in diastole. That means relaxed. After that, both atria and ventricles are in diastolic phase. Joint diastolic phase. That means they both are in relaxed. This is very important. Not again atrial systole. Again, just there will be a joint diastolic phase. You know what happens? Because of reducing pressure, that means ventricles relax. Because of declining in the pressure of the ventricles, the semilunar valves will close. The semilunar valves will close here. This is a very important point. Semilunar valves close, causing the next heart known as dup. Most important. The second heart sound known as dup is caused because of closure of semilunar valves. When the semilunar valves close during cardiac diastole, particularly when the ventricles start relaxing because of reducing that means declining of pressure, the semilunar valves close. So that it can prevent the backflow of blood from arches into ventricles again. Just like AV valves, the same condition. Why AV valves close? So that it can prevent the backflow of blood from ventricles to atria. The same here. The semilunar valves close so that it can prevent the backflow of blood from arches to ventricle. That's it. Causing the second heart sound known as dup. At the same time, the AV valves, they forced open because the ventricles are further relaxed, further reduction of pressure, further declining of pressure, causing the AV valves open. Exactly what happened. We told already in the first discussion. The blood from the deoxygenated blood from the vena cava and the oxygenated blood from the pulmonary vein, they goes to the respective atria. That means right atria and left atria. Because of this, they exert pressure. The most important, ventricles starts relaxing that means it leads to declining of pressure. Whereas in atria, because of blood flow, it exerts pressure. It causes forced open of AV valves. Then again, the blood flows from atria to ventricles. During cardiac diastole, what happens? The blood from atria, respective atria, goes to respective ventricles. That means 70%. I told you already now. Before this atrial systole contribute just 30%. The remaining blood will be filled before the atrial systole. When they are in relaxed state. That means joint diastolic phase. That's it. It's about cardiac cycle. So atrial systole, ventricular systole, joint diastole, cardiac diastole. Then atrial systole, ventricular systole, joint diastole. Atrial systole, likewise, it repeats. It takes 4.8 seconds for one heartbeat. For one cardiac cycle. That means 72 beats per minute. And one cardiac cycle consists of atrial systole, ventricular systole, and cardiac diastole. The most important word we have to component here is cardiac output. Cardiac output. This is very important. Cardiac output. How much amount of blood? Cardiac output. What is cardiac output? Again, there are two words. Stroke volume. The volume of blood pumped out by each ventricle per each heartbeat is stroke volume. Whereas the volume of blood pumped out by the heart from each ventricle per minute is cardiac output. That means cardiac output equal to stroke volume. Stroke volume into number of beats per minute. Number of beats per minute. Stroke volume into number of beats per minute is the cardiac output. And what is the stroke volume? 70 ml per beat. 72 times per minute. That means 5040 ml per minute. Per minute. That means nearly 5 liters. That means nearly 5 liters of the blood pumped out by the heart, what we call cardiac output. Because stroke volume is per beat, number of beats per minute, that leads to 5040. That's how this is the ultimate function. How that means we can measure in quantitative terms. So the ultimate goal is to pump the blood so that it can distribute oxygen, nutrients, gases, oxidative phosphorylation, and collect the carbon dioxide and toxic substances. So that with this speed it has to conduct. So the action potential speed we can generate like 0.6 second. SAN, synovial node, can generate action potentials for every 0.6 seconds. So it can initiate 100 beats per minute. But on average it is around 70 to 80. But a healthy human being is 72 beats. 72 beats per minute. Athletes can alter this because they have to, large amount of blood has to pump out. That means enhancing the cardiac output. That means enhancing the stroke volume. So that the large amount of blood will be pumped out. This is about the function of heart. Okay? The atrial systole, ventricular systole, and the cardiac diastole in cardiac cycle, 0.8 seconds in the cardiac output. Stroke volume into number of beats per minute. Okay. Next, the thing is, what for double circulation is very important. I have discussed already, double circulation. The pulmonary and systemic. Double circulation, pulmonary and systemic. Pulmonary circulation means from right ventricle, the deoxygenated blood goes to pulmonary artery and it goes to lungs, and from there then we get oxygenated, and pulmonary veins, it brings oxygenated blood back to left atria, and from left atria it goes to left ventricle, and from left ventricle, that means up to this point, that means up to left atrium, that means when the oxygenated blood pumps into left atrium by the pulmonary veins is pulmonary circulation. It is called lesser circulation. That means lesser means this is very simple. From right ventricle to pulmonary arch to lungs, and from lungs to pulmonary veins to left atrium. Here the only thing is general arteries carry pure blood, whereas vein carrying pure blood. It's the exception. Pulmonary vein carrying oxygenated blood to left atrium. Systemic circulation called greater circulation, because from left atrium it goes to left ventricle, and from here the systemic arch through arteries, two different arteries, arterioles, then it distributes blood to different tissues, and from tissues, then the venules, the veins, and the vena cava, it goes back to right atrium. That means the deoxygenated blood goes to right atrium. It is called systemic circulation. So the combination is called double circulation. Double circulation. Okay, it's about different issues of function of heart. This last I would like to say is a few examples of how there are different abnormalities of cardiac diseases. Say for example, hypertension, common abnormalities, hypertension. We know that normal blood pressure is 120 by 80, 120 by 80. 80 means systole. 120 means systole, 80 means diastole. 120 systole, 80 diastole. That means the force exerted by the blood against the wall of the blood vessel is blood pressure. It is 120 by 80 normal. If it is higher than 140 by 90, higher than 140 by 90, it leads to hypertension. Generally, they associate with diabetes, smoking, particularly. These are unwanted things. Then another word is another word, atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis. What we call coronary artery disease. This is very important. We know that coronary artery that supply oxygenated blood to the wall of the heart. Because of the accumulation of fat, cholesterol, calcium and fibrous tissue, it reduces the speed because it narrow down the lumen of the coronary artery. Since it narrow down the lumen of the coronary artery, it reduces the amount of the blood that's supposed to be pumped to the wall of the heart. That means the rate of blood flow has been reduced. This accumulation is called atherosclerosis. That is coronary artery disease. That leads to myocardial ischemia. That leads to myocardial ischemia. This atherosclerosis leads to myocardial ischemia. Myocardial ischemia. The amount of blood has been reduced to the wall, to the heart because of this atherosclerosis. And this myocardial ischemia leads to myocardial infarction. Leads to myocardial infarction. Infarction means localized necrosis. This is very important. This is very dangerous. Localized necrosis. Necrosis means because of lack of sufficient blood supply, that means because of sufficient oxygen, the myocardial cells will die. This is called myocardial infarction. And this is a common cause for heart failure. Because of myocardial infarction, leads to heart failure. Heart failure means the heart unable to pump sufficient amount of blood so that it can distribute different parts of the body. The common cause for heart failure is myocardial infarction, or it is called heart attack, cardiac arrest. This is very important. Now, and how severe it is. Say the amount of blood has been that means slowed down, reduced. Why? Because of blockage of coronary artery, say atherosclerosis. Say the atherosclerotic plaques. Atherosclerotic plaques. Atherosclerotic plaques. The rupture of the atherosclerotic plaques leads to blockage of coronary artery. That leads to myocardial infarction. The cell will die, and that is heart attack. The diabetes, hypertension, smoking are the major causes for myocardial infarction. It's like atherosclerosis, myocardial leads to myocardial ischemia, then leads to myocardial infarction. Heart attack simply, or cardiac arrest. Then angina pectoris, chest pain. It's a warning signal. Okay, these are all about different diseases associated with cardiac ashes. Okay, so it's about function of the heart. So objective of my class is to serve for the needs of poor and needy students. Okay, accordingly you can share and subscribe.